So this is Greyhound. It's directed by Aaron Schneider. It's his first film in 11 years, and it stars Tom Hanks. And obviously, this was due for cinema release. It's by Sony. And then kind of not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, they were like, no, we're going to drop it to Apple TV. Despite the fact, I mean, I'm kind of with you on this. I think this would have been a perfect film to open the cinema season, but we're not going to get onto that. So story-wise here, this is set in 1941, early in World War II. You've got Tom Hanks. He plays an inexperienced US Navy captain. This is his first kind of time leading his team. And basically, he has to lead an Allied convoy as they're being stalked by these Nazi U-boat wolf packs. So he has allies with him. He has the Canadians, the Americans, the British Navy SEALs who are near him. But what he has as well is these German boats who are closing in on him and his men. And he's got to basically take the lead, take charge, and try and save the lives of all those men. This has all the cinematic appeal of any film I've seen in a long, long time. I was watching this and I just thought, wow, what a shame. I know Tom Hanks has come out and said it as well. That he said, no offense to Apple TV, but this should not be on there. And I completely agree. I think Sony's buckled under the pressure. I'm really not happy about it, to be honest with you, because it's a testament to the film that, I did enjoy it so much. But I think on the big screen, this would have just been perfect. With the runtime as well of 90 minutes, I think this would have just been brilliant. And I don't like seeing that Apple TV logo on the poster. I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel right. I don't know.
It's weird.
Anyways,
it's weird seeing the Apple. Yeah, it's very strange. It's weird.
I'll have my pears and my apricots, please. No, thank you. So I saw this after school this morning. And I kind of went in with mixed expectations because I don't really enjoy naval ships movies. Like, not a big fan of Hunter Killer with Gerard Butler. This is very different, I guess. But I'm not a big fan of like Hunt for Red October. I just find those films quite dull. But I've got to admit, I really love this film a lot. I've got to say, it's a testament to it, the fact that I can't remember the last time I was so immersed in this film. I think the same way maybe you were with The Old Guard. It just went so quick. I can't remember another film this year that had gone so quick than this. Obviously, it's 90 minutes. But what it does really well is it's set in real time. It's set in a one location, real time, as we follow Tom Hanks and his men try and defend themselves. And I watched the first 10 minutes. You have a subplot involving him and Elizabeth Moss. Their kind of relationship about to be engaged. He has to go off to war. I'm watching it, and I thought by the 40-minute mark, I thought, right, they're going to have to flashback now. They're going to have to stop this. They're going to have some exposition shoved in there, and it's going to get really dull. They don't. They keep it going and going and going. And you go, oh, hold on. This is actually set in real time. I had no idea. Not only is Tom Hanks absolutely terrific, as he always is in this, you've got a really great supporting cast. Stephen Graham I really liked in this as well. Although that Scouser accent was popping in here and there. I could hear it. I was like, Elizabeth Stewart, like I said, is very, very good. And I think, looking at the reviews, this film is getting quite positive reviews. But the one criticism people have been given it is that we don't know anything about Tom Hanks' character. We'd like to know more about his backstory. And I think I totally understand that, but here's my angle on it. We say all the time in filmmaking, show, don't tell. That is the one rule. And this film is a perfect example of that, I think, because they could have started off with a narration, my name is so-so-so, and this is my story, as they always do in these World War II biopics. They could have had constant flashbacks of him, like with his children or his wife, or him at a previous mission, but they don't, because what the director Aaron Schneider does so well is that he actually allows you to see those traits in his character come out during those really difficult circumstances he finds himself in the film. The fact that he is a leader, he does take risks with his men. He feels very responsible. You can tell that he doesn't quite know what he's doing because it is his first mission. But for me, that didn't bother me. I didn't need a backstory about him because I felt like Tom Hanks's performance in itself really just delivered for me. And I felt I didn't walk away going, oh, who is this guy? Because it's not based on a true story. Obviously, it's based in real events, but it's not about a certain person's life. If this was like a Winston Churchill biopic, it'd be different, But I felt like that didn't bother me at all. In fact, I kind of liked it. I like the fact that they're not feeding in exposition every 10 minutes, And like I said, I feel like the fact, the decisions he makes, the actions he makes in the film, for me, I got a lot out of it. I kind of saw him as a character, and I was like, okay, fair enough. not only that, but some of the scenes are so tense, really taut, really nail-biting. We talked about 7500 a couple of weeks ago, and this reminded me of that a lot. And you have a really capable actor in a situation that is so pulse-pounding, that is so riveting, and I honestly, my heart was pounding so fast during this, and it never really gave up. You know, it carried on all the way through the movie. And like I said, the runtime is so good. It's just under 90 minutes. And I'm like, if only every World War II film could be this, then life would be so much simpler. So I loved it. It's just into my top 10. Wow. I think it's great. Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's a shame it's not coming out in cinema. But I tell you what, you've got Tom Hanks at the helm. He hasn't let me down this year. He's 2 films in my top 10 with Tom Hanks. God bless the guy. He's great. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, God bless Hanks, because obviously he's had a hard time with the old COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so Tom Hanks has had a bad old time with the COVID.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks this is bad. I mean, come on.
You know, but yeah, Tom Hanks, God bless him. He loves a good old World War II movie, didn't he, Tom Hanks? Right, okay, so I had a different experience to you, I think, with this one. I think so as I said earlier on, we talked about, you know, did we feel like we feel like I missed out watching The Old Guard on the small screen? I didn't feel that at all. I definitely feel like I missed out seeing a Greyhound on the big screen. And if anything, I'm pissed off with Apple for doing this and Sony for doing this, because I feel like I would have enjoyed Greyhound far more if I had seen it on a completely immersive, you know, like super screen in Cineworld or IMAX. I feel like it would have been far better than just me sitting in my living room watching it on my TV. And I've got a good TV. I've got 4K. I was watching this in 4K, and I still felt like I missed out on a lot, to be honest. There are certain films, like you said, which work well on small screens and you don't miss out on much. 7500 is a perfect example of that, because 7500, it's claustrophobic. You're in that one, like, you're in the cockpit the entire time, the entire length of that movie. It's claustrophobic. So if anything, watching it on a small screen in your, you know, in your living room kind of adds to that claustrophobia aspect of it. But this, it's just, you know, the complete opposite. It's waves crashing, it's guns firing, it's like torpedoes being fired, airplanes like firing bombs, you know, missiles at a U-boat. And that just didn't really work for me on the small screen. I think if I had been in the cinema, I think I would have been so invested in it, like you, fully immersed in it. I think I would have just been sat there on the edge of my seat the whole time thinking, this is an experience. Not quite on the same level of like something like 1917, but still an experience. And I love films like that, where you literally go in an hour and 20 minutes, real time, and you've come out and your heart is pounding and you think, God, like, I felt like I was on that ship. Watching it on television, for me, I did not feel like I was on that ship. The whole time I just sat there thinking, this is fine. It's doing its job really well. Tom Hanks obviously wrote the script. Tom Hanks has a very good knowledge of like stories in World War II. This is very much a dad type of movie. A lot of people have described it as something like, if you've watched Band of Brothers or The Pacific, you're going to really enjoy this movie. And I think that's right. You know, I know for a fact, you know, if my grandfather was still around today, this would be his film all over. He'd be all over this type of movie. And I do like, what's interesting, I love films or like with U-boats and stuff. I love Hunt for Red October. I even like the Matthew McConaughey U-571. Like, I love those like submarine movies, but this just wasn't doing it for me. I think it definitely tried to add that character development that you mentioned. Some people have criticized it not having, but I think if anything, the filmmakers trying to add the character development took away from the movie, because you see Elizabeth Shue in like the first 5 minutes and then she's like pretty much gone the whole, like, you know, there's I think in total she's probably got about 6 minutes screen time in the 90-minute movie. So I'm with you. I don't think it needed any character development at all. They could have just focused on it being pulse pounding experience, like you said, an immersive cinematic experience where you're sitting there like 4DX. You can imagine seeing this in 4DX with the water and everything and the movements. They should have put this in the cinema. It's plain and simple. They should have been on the big screen. So I can totally get why Tom Hanks was like, I'm not really happy with that. And he's kind of had to backtrack in recent interviews and gone, oh, well, actually, it's great because everybody can kind of watch it now at the comfort of their home. But if I was him, if I'd written this script, I would be annoyed right now because for me, this deserved the big screen treatment. It needed to be, and it would have been like watching for me, it was like if I'd seen 1917 for the first time on my television. I don't think it would have worked for me. So I admire it. I think technically it's a good film. I think it's got some thrills in there. I love the German U-boat kind of tormenting the troops on the boat and stuff. I thought that was really like eerie, and it kind of put me on the edge of my seat. But when you compare it to something like 7500, I think it definitely wasn't. It didn't have the same effect on me